And we're good. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our call tonight. We are so excited. Mindy's team and Amanda's team, our Sideline Sisters, are joining us tonight. So we're so excited for all of us to be on here together. We kind of all put our heads together and created these documents. So it only felt right that we all came together and delivered this information and kind of went over everything with you guys. So we are really excited for that. Rebecca and I are also really excited to be role playing for you guys. So I think we're just going to go ahead and jump in. I still see some people jumping on, but go ahead and get started. And yeah, we're going to open it up to if you guys in the chat want to ask questions as we're going through. If something comes to mind, type it in there, and we will definitely go over all of those questions. Probably towards the end. And yeah, so Rebecca, anything?
Yes, so I'll kind of kick us off and say, excuse me, the whole purpose of this 730 training, obviously we model this after what Bob Heilig teaches in his legacy leadership, but we just feel like when a new ambassador joins us, we need a simple, successful system to plug them into that is not sponsor dependent. So that if you're my level 6 or you're my level 1, you're still getting the same documents, the same system. And if somebody in between me and my level 6, like your sponsor goes MIA or quits or whatever, takes a break, you're still plugged into the system and you can still be successful. And that is so, so important for our Plexus business. So when we were learning about this 730 training, we were like, yes, this is exactly what we need. And so like Lauren said, we put our heads together, we tailored it to match what we need for our teams in Plexus, and we used his training as a guideline. So I'm going to start with opening up the sponsor checklist. So this is something that you as a sponsor, you just signed a new ambassador. And you know that minute after you get that welcome email or you see them in your back office, that's like the most exciting time. And this is also the most exciting time for your new ambassador. They can't wait to get the products. They finally, made the dive, they click join, and now they're like, okay, what do I do next? What should I expect? And this is when we really, really, really want to take advantage of their excitement, because this is the time, if any, that they are going to be the most willing and probably coachable to get plugged in. So as soon as you sign that new ambassador, you can open up your sponsor checklist. And Lauren, I don't know if you want me to share my screen.
Yeah, you can if it, yeah.
I said I had it up, that's right here. You're going to open up your sponsor checklist, and ours all look very, very similar. And it's going to break it down what you need to do within those first 2 days, which is the first part of the 2. If you scroll to the next page, this first 7 days, and then their first 30 days. So it breaks it down what you as their sponsor, what you're going to do with your new ambassador. So some of this is going to be familiar, and then some of this is kind of new. But obviously the first thing, this is what we already do, is you add them to your team page, whether it's you have your own personal, but make sure they get on the big Team Allen page. We always tag them in a short welcome post. I know our team page, we have a pinned post at the top that has getting started information, our calendar of events. It has really good info. From there, you always want to make sure you send them a welcome email, or you send them product directions via Facebook Messenger, some way to get them connected so that they're clear on how to take their products, which is what we're already doing. But the cool thing with this document is if you click here, and where it's blue, it will take you to, like, this is something that you can literally copy and paste into your email and send to your new ambassador. It's done for you. Now, obviously, you can change it up if there's, want to change the wording, whatever, but this is an example that's ready to go. So it's very simple. You just simply copy and paste it from your email to your new ambassador. So it's super, it's done for you. Now, the next part is you're also going to make sure that you're providing everybody with a getting started checklist. And again, this is the cool thing. We have the link, so if you click on it, it's going to send you directly to that link. And it looks like this. So you might send this via email, you might send it via Facebook Messenger, whichever makes the most sense for you and when you're talking to your new ambassador. So I'm going to go back. Now, this is where the next one determines how you're going to follow up with that new ambassador in your getting started checklist. So this is where this is kind of new to our teams, is presenting the 2 paths for building the business. I don't know about you guys, but oftentimes I add a new ambassador and it's like, I don't know if they're interested in the business. I didn't really ask them. I didn't really talk about that, and we never really got there. And I've also had people join and say, I had no idea there was a business. And I share about the business. So this is the path, and this is the part of the system that's going to eliminate that, where it's going to set the stage so that it lets our new ambassador know there is a business possible. And it's going to ask them pretty much what are your intentions. So from here, you can either ask them, if it feels natural for you, you can use the wording, you can ask them which path, or we made it again simple, where you simply send them the short welcome video. This is one that I made for our team. I know Lynn's going to make one. Jessica has one. Amanda, I don't know if Mindy, they may have one for their teams. Pick the one that makes the most sense for you, and you're going to send that to them. Immediately after they sign up is really the best. So I simply, today, for example, I was talking to a newer ambassador. She's not brand new, but it didn't really make sense for me to be like, hey, I'm going to send you the welcome video. So I just typed it out saying, hey, let me know which path are you on. You say you're interested in the business. Are you on path 1? You're ready to launch, like you're serious, you're coachable, you're committed, you want to make some good money? Or are you more path 2? You're not quite sure yet, you're slow and steady. And she responded, she said, oh no, I'm path 1, I'm ready to launch. So I just talked to her about it. So if you feel more comfortable talking it out, sending a voice message, you can do that. Or you can simply send the welcome video, say, hey, I'm gonna send you this quick 4-minute video. Do you have time right now? You can watch it. And you send it to them, and then you're gonna follow right back up and say, okay, which path makes the most sense for you? And ask them. There's no right or wrong answer. And it goes over all of that in the welcome video. Exactly what they need to do as far as even messaging you back. So that's what you want to do. And then from here, this really determines what you're going to do these next 30 days with your new ambassador. If they say they are path 1, that they're ready to launch, game on. They have just given you permission to work closely with them, to run with them, to work as quickly as they are showing their actions are ready. This is when these are what we call our runners, right? Those people that we look for that are serious. This is when you're going to send them the game plan meeting worksheet. So for me, that looks like, okay, you said you're path 1, that's awesome. I've added you to my team page. I've already sent you the email. Now, I'm going to send you the game plan meeting worksheet, and this really says in the first 2 days. So today I told my ambassador, I said, okay, tomorrow's open. What time tomorrow can we meet? She said, all right, I'm free at 12:30. I said, okay, I'm coming to my house tomorrow at 12:30. So she's coming over tomorrow, 12:30, and we're going to do our game plan meeting in person. Now, everybody doesn't live in my neighborhood, so you might do it via Zoom. That would be the next best thing. Meeting somewhere for coffee and, in a, Panera, Starbucks, wherever, or, worst case would be like a 3-way call. But you really want to be able to have the game plan meeting worksheet in front of you and in front of them. So you're going to give them a copy. I printed out a copy because I'm going to make notes and I'm going to be filling it in as I'm going through the game plan meeting worksheet. So I sent that today and I said, okay, tomorrow when we meet, we're going to go through this, start working on it, make sure you've gone through the getting started checklist, because this is what we're going to go over tomorrow. So that's how it's going to kind of start for everybody when you sign a new ambassador. Send them the welcome email, add them to the team page, send them the welcome video and find out which path they're on, and then send them the getting started checklist. So you can kind of see how those first few boxes, some people prefer to send the email first, whatever, but the first 2 days. But the most important thing is finding out which path are they on, path 1 or path 2. So Lauren and I are now going to kind of walk through what a game plan meeting worksheet would be for somebody who said path 1, ready to launch. And then we'll back up and we'll talk about how do you handle somebody that says they're path 2 and they want to be slow and steady. So, all right, Lauren, I'm going to change the game plan meeting. That's right.
And like Rebecca was saying, she just did her first one. Like, we're all in this learning stage together, and it's gonna just take getting in there and doing it, and then you're gonna get a feel for it, and you're gonna get your own flow and all of that kind of stuff. But like we talked about today too, like both of us are available. Suzanne, you know, are available to help implement these to begin with. Even though we're all new at this, if it makes you feel more comfortable, we want you to know that as we start rolling these out, that we can be on there to walk through and do them with you and your new level 1 until you feel comfortable. So again, we never want anybody to feel like they're you know, boat lost at sea all alone. So I just want to throw that out there before we role play.
Yes, for sure. And you know, this is still, you can still work with this for ambassadors who are seasoned, that are maybe just now ready to work their business, or, you know, maybe have fallen off and they're coming back. Like, that's what I did today. I did another call, and it was someone who's already launched, but they just needed more detailed training. And I was like, hey, let's go through the game plan meeting checklist. So you can use this for brand new people, is obviously what we want to really get going, but it's still very, very usable for, you know, your excuse me, for somebody who's ready to relaunch. All right. Was there a chat, a question? I can't see.
No, I don't think so.
All right. All right. So now we're going to kind of transform, and Lauren is going to be my brand new ambassador that just signed up, that I have been working on for so long, and the timing is now right for her. And we have already gone through the first few steps. She told me she's ready to launch. She's serious. She wants to make a lot of money. And so we're going to kind of jump into our roles and just kind of work through the game plan worksheet as we would as if we were on a new training call. All right, ready?
Yes, ready.
All right. Hey, Lauren, I'm so excited that you could jump on today.
Hey, thank you.
Did you have a chance to look through the worksheets?
I did. I looked through them, and I'm excited to go over them.
Awesome. So the first thing, I just want to touch base. Were you able to go through the getting started checklist?
Yes.
Okay, and the most important thing really there is just to realize, like, you want to make sure your subscription's set up so that you don't forget your products next month. And do you feel comfortable logging into your virtual office? Was that all working well for you?
Yes, it worked perfectly. I had a couple of issues with the subscription, but I finally got it set up and we're good to go.
Awesome. All right. So, you know, if you ever come back to a question, always you can check back to that checklist, because that's literally your little Plexus Bible that you can use if you're not sure what to say on Facebook or when somebody reaches out, but it's there for you to use as a guide. So make sure you really go through that, and we can work through that together. But I just wanted to highlight that for you, that it's such a really good resource. So we'll move on to our game plan meeting worksheet, where we're going to launch into some action. But before we really get started, Lauren, I really want to kind of set the expectations for what you can expect with this business. And you see this little picture of these little apples here. I like to tell this story because I think it really goes well with, you know, network marketing. And so often I hear people tell me, well, I'm not a salesperson, or I don't really know how to sell. And I just simply tell them, you know, we share things that we love, but really when you're going to be talking to people and messaging people, think of yourself like you're sorting, and you're sorting your apples. And here's what I mean. So you're going to come across some people, and they're like that red apple. They are ready. The timing is right for them. They're going to be excited. They're going to say, yes, I'm ready to do this. Whatever you're doing, let me do it. And they're going to be ready to jump in. So you have those red apples, and you're going to put them in that basket, sign them up, get them plugged in, they're ready. Okay? Then you're going to have your green apples. And these are maybe people who are interested. They're open to it, but they're not quite ready yet. Maybe they need more information. Maybe you need to send them a sample. They just need to go on your follow-up list because the timing's not quite ready, but they are interested. And you're probably going to find this is what the majority of people are. They just need to kind of watch you and get information, and that's okay. You just kind of sort them, and that's going to be your follow-up. And then your last apple, those are your rotten apples, okay? And that's kind of funny, but rotten apples, some people are going to be negative when you reach out. They may tell you no. They may kind of crack a joke. They may tell you it's a pyramid scheme. And you just simply sort those into your rotten apple basket and realize that this may not be for them right now. And you just kind of move on and you keep looking for your red and your green apples, okay? So I just want to kind of set that expectation, because I remember the first time someone said no or were kind of negative, I was like, oh, I thought everybody would want to do this. And that's not always the case. So we just like to set those expectations up, you know, up front, kind of what you can expect when you're starting to really launch your business. So do you have any questions about that, about the apples?
No, I love the analogy. That made perfect sense, and kind of helped me get used to maybe the people that aren't going to be as receptive to this. So thank you for that.
Yes. And, you know, as you encounter these people, feel free, like, you know, it's kind of like you're going to be going like this. We call it this roller coaster, where you're going to be really excited and you find a red apple and then you get a rotten apple, and then, you know, so I just want you to be aware that that's kind of normal in this business. And you're going to find that when you get off that emotional roller coaster and this network marketing roller coaster, and just attach yourself to the actions, and are you doing what you need to do, and kind of detach from the results, you're going to find that this is amazing. You're going to love it. So let's kind of move into setting some of your goals. The first one I like to kind of talk about is the financial goal. You know, how much money would you need to make to really get excited about your Plexus business? Do you have a figure in mind?
Well, I think that I definitely am a red apple. I want to kind of go all in. I have really big, high hopes for this, and helping to transform our family's financial situation. So for me, I would really like to make this a full-time job with a full-time income. So anywhere between $2,000–$3,000 would really, really, really be super helpful for our family.
And you see me looking down. I'm just making notes because I want to be in tune with your goals too. So $2,000 to $3,000, you know, that's very possible. I will tell you, I would say commit really to this for a good solid year to 4 years. You know, this is not something that's going to happen overnight, but you know, $2,000 to $3,000 is life-changing, and it is totally possible. I know so many, including myself, who've been able to achieve that. So, you know, when you make that $2,000 to $3,000, how do you plan to use that? Like, what's your dream with that? What's your vision?
Well, I think to be able to help, obviously, with our bills, our mortgage, other bills, just to be able to kind of relieve some of that financial burden that my husband carries. Being a stay-at-home mom, I don't really contribute financially, so I would like to maybe offset a little bit of that strain that he feels, you know, working so hard. And so, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we have your financial goal. And then what about any health goals? What's your priority as far as your health and wellness?
Well, I just had a baby 6 months ago, so I would like to lose some of my baby weight and not be so tired all the time, and maybe a little less cranky. So just overall to feel more like myself.
Yes, I can relate to that. That's exactly why I started. But what I found was these products, they help with so much, like depression, anxiety, you know, craving. So much that can happen, a lot of it that we don't even expect. So I definitely wrote down your health goals, and that's something that you're going to want to keep track of every little change along the way that you notice, like even keeping a little journal. Are you sleeping better? Are you feeling less cravings? Do you have a little more energy? Because that's going to tie into you being able to lose weight. If you're moving more and you're eating healthy, that's really going to help you. So I have those written down as have your financial goal and your health goal. So let's start with the first step on how you're going to reach your financial goal, and that's with this box, and that's what we call going silver, and it's really simple. So all you have to do, and this is earning a minimum of $175, which is going to cover your first months of products and kind of jumpstart you onto your goal, of that $2,000. And that's just to personally enroll 3 ambassadors with a welcome pack. Just like you joined, you got the $99 triplex welcome pack. You're going to want to find 3 other people, moms, best friends, cousins, coworkers, anybody that would join you as an ambassador. They all have to be from you. All 3 orders need to process in the same month. So let's say, you add 2 in November and 1 in December. They all need to have that 100 PV in the same month. And then you also want to set them up with that active subscription, just like you did. You signed up, you put your 100 PV in place. Just if they're like us, they're going to be busy moms and they don't want to forget to order their products. So the first step is really what we call silver, and that's getting 3 ambassadors on board. The other thing I like to mention is ambassadors, that doesn't mean that they always want to work the business. Maybe they're wholesale ambassadors. Maybe they want to be like a Sam's or a Costco member and they just want to order their products. They totally count too for you going silver. So do you kind of have in mind, if you started thinking about who you want to share these products or this business with?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think my mom will jump in right away with me. We love to do things together. So I think as soon as I talk to her about it, she'll be super excited. My best friend probably as well. I can think of several people that I'm pretty certain would want to jump in and do it with me.
That sounds awesome. So we'll kind of work through that too, but just so you know, that's the first step that will start to meeting your financial goal. And we'll kind of go over that more as we walk through this. So with silver being our first goal, now we want to kind of walk through what are the actions that you can do to get you that $175 right out of the bat, to get you those 3 ambassadors. And this is where we call our action steps. And we're just going to kind of walk briefly through what you can do these next 7 days to get you those new ambassadors. So one of the #1 ways that we actually share and have our storefront open is by sharing on social media. Now, I remember being like, what the heck do I post that first, week, because you're really not sure yet. And so we actually have the first 7 days of Facebook posts. We have some ideas and some guidelines for you. Did you have a chance to kind of look through those yet?
I did. I looked through them. They seem pretty self-explanatory. I think that I can add my own twist to them and kind of make them my own. So yeah, I'm excited.
That's perfect. And that's exactly what we would coach you to do. These are just ideas and guidelines, but make it you, make it personal. Your friends and family don't want to see a Plexus billboard. They want to see you. And so the first thing I would say, like kind of going over these is, goal 1 would be a good idea for our first post would be, if you're brave enough, I'd love for you to do a Facebook Live. You go on there and you don't even mention Plexus. You create curiosity with all of your friends because they have no idea what you're doing. And Facebook Live, people are curious. They're going to hop on. They're going to watch it. This is really the #1 way to reach the most people on your friends list. So how do you feel about a Facebook Live?
They kind of scare me. I've never done one before. But I guess if I have these big goals and things that I want to reach, I'll do what you suggest and go after it.
I'm so proud of you. That's awesome. So it's normal to feel nervous for sure. So that's why we've given you this guideline. So it doesn't have to be long. We can make it, a minute, however long. It's just getting it out there to show your friends that you're excited and to create that curiosity. So you could use something like this idea, you've never been more excited about your health than you are now, what you're excited about, or since you have a really big goal with the business, you're wanting $2,000 to $3,000 a month, I would say let's do your curiosity post about the business. And all you have to say is something like, man, guys, I have never been more excited about changing our family's financial future, and I have started my own business. I'm so excited to be an entrepreneur. Give me a shout out in the comments. Who owns their own business, or who's my entrepreneur friends? And get people to know that you've launched a business. You can add in about the products too, kind of what we have on here, but just something to create curiosity, but you're not allowed to mention Plexus. We don't want people to watch your video and then go to Google and find all the reviews that they want. We want them to create curiosity so they come to you and they reach out to you. So that's just a really good, day one idea. There's also, if you go back to the checklist, there's a social media link, and it's going to have even more ideas for creating that first live video. So that's a really good way to really get yourself out there and to launch it. The other days, just kind of go through, day 2, maybe you kind of connect back to that health goal that you told me about, that you really want to lose weight. You're tired of being tired. You're tired of being cranky. And maybe you post that on day 2, hey guys, I'm so tired of being a cranky mom. My husband's ready to kick me to the curb. Okay, not really. But you share what you're struggling with and then tell them what you're excited about. Again, without mentioning Plexus. So you just say, I'm so excited to finally get my health back and to lose weight. I'm looking forward to being not cranky and to feeling like myself again. What struggles do you guys have? And get your friends to interact and start sharing with you, because there's your first leads, people that you can talk to about Plexus, and you never mention Plexus, and you're just being real and genuine and sharing what you're excited about, because you haven't even tried the products yet. So you really don't know, you don't have that testimony yet, but you can share what you're excited about. So these are just really good ideas to kind of guide you through your first 7 days for posting on Facebook. And, after this call and throughout the week, we can kind of touch base if you need help with specific ideas on the wording. I'll be happy to kind of go back over this with you, but this is just a good tool for getting started. Do you have any questions about Facebook posting?
I don't think so. That looks pretty clear.
And then you can just kind of check it off each day when you make your Facebook post. So just think quality over quantity. You don't want to blow up Facebook with Plexus, but just share at least one, post a day, and then one personal post a day, because you don't want to forget that you're Lauren, mom of 2, Disney lover, Georgia Bulldogs fan. Like, you still want to be you. So, all right. So the next step after you started posting on Facebook these next 7 days is what you really want to get prepared for, how to reach out and who you really think would be your top business builders, people you would love to do this business with, and then maybe people who would love these products and just benefit from them. So did you have a chance yet to maybe start writing down some of the names that came to mind when you thought about your top business builder or your top prospects for the products?
I hadn't written any down, but I definitely have several in mind to start filling in for sure.
So do you have maybe one person that comes to mind right now for the business?
Oh yeah, for sure. Jane Doe, she's going to be like a total rock star. I just know it.
Well, is Jane on your Facebook?
Yeah.
Well, here's what we can do. We can kind of send a sample message. So I'm going to, these contact lists are what you want to fill in over these next 7 days. And right now, why don't we kind of move to section 3 and let's practice sending Jane a reach out message using one of our third-party tools. So this is what I mean by third party. Maybe you talk to Jane and she's like, oh yeah, that sounds great. I'd love to hear more. And instead of you, because you're brand new, right? You don't know everything. You're going to use one of these tools to send to her so that you don't have to worry about knowing everything. You can literally earn while you're learning. And that's where the beauty of these third-party tools comes in, is when you're reaching out or when you're talking to someone, simply say, would you be open to hearing more about this new business that I've started? Can I have like 8 minutes of your time? And a lot of people will say yes. And that's when you can simply pick one of these that makes the most sense and send to her. And it takes the pressure off of you. So you said Jane would be really good at the business?
Yes.
What does Jane do?
Jane is a teacher.
She's a teacher. So what I would recommend, I know this really good, these are called the Diamond Docs. When you reach the top of our company, they do an 8-minute video about your family and who you are and what's possible with this company. So I would recommend If you go through here, it kind of tells you a little bit about each person and who they are. I have a really good one in mind. That's a teacher, and it may take you a little while, but we could send this link to her and see if she'd be willing to watch it. Do you want to try that now?
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
All right. More link. Do that together. So let me know when she reads it, but you know what? When I send these messages, I'm so focused on, my next plan of action. I don't sit around and wait to see if she's going to read it. I know she'll get back to me. She's kind of busy, but we'll see what she says. So we'll keep going, but maybe she'll respond right away. So let me know if you get that message back.
Okay.
But that's just an example of how you could use these third-party tools. The other really good one, Lauren, is if someone's like, they have no idea what Plexus is, you're not sure if they'd be a good product or business, you just kind of want that overview, I would definitely send this video. It's by, I think, Almay Darling is her name, and she's a master nutritionist. She has a lot of credibility, and I love to send that because she covers the products and the business. That's the other really good one. Or you can always use me in a three-way message if you're talking to someone and you're not really sure what to say. All you have to say is, hey, let me add my friend Rebecca. She's been doing this a lot longer, and I'll help answer any of the questions in a Facebook chat. So those are really good tools to have so that you don't have to feel like you have to know everything right out of the gate.
Okay, awesome. And I like the fact that I know you're there in case I need help, because I have a ton of questions, and obviously I know nothing about Plexus really. So I think I'll be using the three-way messages a lot.
Yes, and I promise, like, the learning curve is so quick. Within a few messages, you're such a fast learner and you're so committed and coachable. You're going to see how it goes and the flow of it, and you're going to feel so confident, and you're going to be taken off with these, I have no doubt, in such a short amount of time. And remember, too, you still have the checklist, and our Getting Started checklist, it literally walks you through on what to say to people when they reach out to you about Plexus. So if I'm ever not available, make sure you go back to that as well. It's there for your resource.
Okay.
All right, so we're almost done. Is there any questions so far that have kind of come to mind, or anything that?
No, nothing yet.
All right, so the next number 4 is really a common question that I remember having, and that is, how do I know who to sign up as a customer and who to sign up as an ambassador? And it's really simple. There are actually 3 ways to purchase with Plexus: retail customer, preferred, or wholesale. And it's really quite simple how you determine who should be what. If you have someone and they're not going to spend 100 PV a month, so maybe they want 1 or 2 products, be a preferred customer. They still get a discount from the retail price. They get their own account. They get set up for a subscription. On their 4th order, they get a 10% additional discount. So it's really the best option for them. Or if you have someone who's like, yes, I want to do whatever you're doing, Lauren, I want to do it, and they want to do the triplex or maybe even more, and they're committed or they're interested in the business, you definitely want to do the wholesale. Honestly, I never really tell anybody about retail because I don't want my friends paying any more money than they have to. The only exception would be if they're going to do a 7-day trial and be in one of our 7-day trial groups like you were in. Then I'd have them do retail because that's the only way they can purchase it unless they get it directly from me. So really, and you're going to find, like, your friends that are wanting to do Plexus with you, they just want you to tell them the best option for them. You don't want to overwhelm them and give them all 3 options. They trust you and they want you to tell them, okay, here's my health goals, here's what I want, you tell me what products to do. And then obviously they're going to want the best price, so you tell them which option works best for them. And if they do Ambassador, make sure they get the welcome pack just like you did. It's they have 2 options, a $99 one, or maybe them and their spouse, or them and their mom want to go in together. They could do the double welcome pack or a bigger welcome pack. So do you have questions as far as how to differentiate between who to sign up as a customer or ambassador?
No, I think it makes good sense the way, you explained it to me when I was signing up. Obviously, I don't want to pay more for products than I have to. So especially being a stay-at-home mom, this is something that we have to budget in, and just getting them the cheapest way possible is really important. So I think that will speak to a lot of people.
Yeah, and I mean, some people say, well, why wouldn't you do Ambassador even if you want 2 products? And that $34.95 membership fee that you're going to spend to be an ambassador, you could really get a whole nother product as a preferred customer if you're not really committed for the long term or you're not interested in the business. And keep in mind too, like if you're a customer, you can upgrade at any time. So if they start out as a customer, they can always upgrade to an ambassador if something changes. But I will admit too, if I had started out as a customer, I may not have ever upgraded. So you want to get people who are doing that 100 PV or more as ambassadors, because they're going to get the resources, get added to the team page. It just makes a lot of sense. So it's just a common question that we kind of like to go over to make sure you feel comfortable with explaining how to get started.
Okay.
Right. And then number 5, this is when we say identify your why. And that just simply means, why did you say yes to this business? Like, what impact would you want your business to make? Have you thought about that much?
Well, that's kind of a big thing to have an impact. But I guess to be able to have an impact not only on my family and our lives, but maybe the impact on some of my friends I know that are struggling. I have several friends that have terrible health, that struggle with different kind of illnesses and stuff, and several friends that are really just kind of in a bad place financially. So maybe to be able to have an impact and maybe help them to get out of that would be kind of awesome.
That would be. You sound a lot like me as far as you want to help others, and sometimes we think like Plexus can be the avenue even to dream bigger. So, maybe you have a mission in mind, or you want to donate to missionaries, or you want to be able to give back. The money that you make with Plexus can be, used for that. So, yes, we're going to get to help our friends and our family feel better and get out of debt and, be home with their kids, but this can be used for so much more. And so, your why may change throughout this process. I know for me, I started just to lose weight, kind of like you did, and it turned into I wanted to be home with my kids, and now it's I want my husband to be home with my kids because I'm tired of my little girl crying every morning. Why does daddy have to leave? To, I want to be able to give back to our church and to missionaries and to parents that, they want to have kids, but they can't, so they need to adopt, and it's expensive. So I just feel like, Plexus is the avenue it's going to be so much bigger than just our team, and that it's going to allow me to make an impact. And, that's what's really going to push me on the days when I get a rotten apple and somebody's, negative, or, they kind of make fun of me, or business is slow. Sorry. So that's why it's just important to know your why.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. And, how you explain there's going to be tough days. I guess just maybe keeping that in the back of my mind and, focusing on the bigger picture and what it will mean to succeed in this and to not give up. So,
yes. And, I'll be here to help support you. This business is really simple, but it's not always easy, but it's worth it. And when you come back to your why, you want to help your friends and family, it'll make it worth those hard days to push through that. All right, so our last one is number 6, and this is just setting some goals for your next week. How do you want to start working your business? So hopefully you had some time before this to kind of think through what are some goals that you have for yourself for these next 7 days. What do you think you could accomplish?
Well, I think that I could probably find 3 friends or family members that will jump in and do this with me. So I think that going silver in the next 7 days is completely, in my eyesight, that's what I got it set on. So I'm going to say silver in 7 days.
Okay.
And definitely going live for the first time. That's going to be totally out of my comfort zone. And I just might stutter through the entire thing, but I'm going to do it. And then definitely working on creating my list so that I can continue to reach out to more people over the next week.
That sounds great. So you're going to reach out to enough people to go silver. And I want you to keep in mind though, Lauren, focus on what you can control these next 7 days, because you really can't make somebody sign up. But if you're reaching out to enough people and you're learning about Plexus and you're doing the action to get you there, that's going to be really huge. So I don't want you to get down if you don't reach it, but I want you to really focus on putting in the action to get those 3 people. And then going live, that's going to be huge. Message me before you go so I can hop on and comment, and I'll give you some little hearts.
All right, perfect.
And then, making your list, go back to the checklist. It talks about what we call franks, like your friends, your relatives, acquaintances. And, if you can go even beyond these, first 20 people, that's huge. And I'll be checking in with you each day. If you need help with the wording for your live, or you need help kind of brainstorming more people to put on your list, to help you reach these, simple goals in the next 7 days. And then we can kind of touch base again officially at the end of the 7 days and make sure that you feel like you're on the right track. The last thing I'll kind of highlight, Lauren, is if you click on the IPA, that just stands for income producing activities, things that you can do that are going to make you money, that are going to build your business. So if you find yourself saying, okay, what should I do today? I want to work my business, but I'm not sure what. This is a really simple checklist for you to do each day. And following these will really help you go silver this first week. I promise all of them matter. And then if you feel like you really need accountability, you can send me a screenshot of this and I can check in. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you want to complete this and send it to me, or do you feel pretty confident in doing this on your own the first 7 days?
Yeah, I think that I would probably feel more confident in myself if I was being held accountable. And I definitely like how it's listed where I can check things off and fill in the blanks and know what I did, what I needed to do every day to help grow my business. So I think that I would definitely appreciate the accountability if you're willing to do that.
Yes. And some of them you may not have yet, like an inactive ambassador. So you can just skip over that if it doesn't apply to you right now, but eventually it will as your business grows. So I think that sounds great. I'll help hold you accountable and answer your questions. So these next 7 days, we're going to get you to silver. So that sounds awesome. All right. Were there any other questions that you had as far as our game plan meeting?
No, I don't think so. I'm going to take this all in and kind of go back through it all when we hang up. And so I'll probably have questions then, but I'll shoot you a message.
That sounds perfect. All right. Well, thanks for taking the time, and I'll shoot you a message tomorrow and check in on you.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. So that was fun. But that just kind of gives you a feeling of what your first game plan meeting worksheet might look like. Obviously you may spend more time in one area, or you may need to go jump out of order if somebody's asking a question, and that's fine. So do we have any questions from you guys as a team?
Yeah, and you can unmute yourself or type in the chat field, whatever is easiest. But before we go on, if anybody wants to say anything, Amanda, Mindy, if you guys want to add anything. No?
Okay. Well, if they're not going to add anything, then I'm just going to say,
hey, girl.
that my next ambassador better act like that when I go through this checklist. And they better be super excited about going on live and doing 3-way chats, because if that's the case, excuse my French, but I will pee in my pants.
Well, here's Tanya. When these game plan meeting worksheets, though, these are with people who have told you they're ready to launch. They're excited. So more than likely, they're going to be more open to this. And we'll kind of jump back now and kind of do that.
Hold on. I'm going to start my video. Just don't laugh at my hair. Okay, because I'm laying in bed. Okay, see my hair? Yeah. But I want you to see my face when I say this. I have people who said that they will do this business and then they don't do that.
Yes, we all have those people, but this is the path too. These are the people that initially tell us that they're all in, they want to do it. And so this is what that game plan is going to look like. We are going to go into the path of slow and steady and what that looks like, which might be more of what we're used to. But it's definitely, listen, we're all out there trying to find those dream teamers, and that's why we're just continuing to sift through the sand to find those little nuggets of gold that are out there.
It was awesome. And your role playing, I'm going to tell you, it was so helpful.
Do you want to cast me in one of your plays?
I do.
Okay, perfect.
But it was really helpful to see how Rebecca was going to say everything on that sheet. So I'm not knocking it. I think this is absolutely fabulous. Yes. So just know that I think that you guys did an awesome job. Thank you for doing it.
You are so welcome.
Somebody asked, where's the list for posting on Facebook? So I'll share my screen again. If you go back to the link down here, the sponsor checklist, the getting started checklist, this is for the new ambassador. Learn how to respond when someone asks what is Plexus, so that's really helpful. It kind of goes through social media, but how to make your first social media post. So if you click there, it's going to give you ideas, like here's your first Facebook Live curiosity post, so what you could say. The next Facebook Live, if you're brave, like Facebook Live is really the way to go to set us apart from other people, sharing stuff on Facebook, unboxing your Plexus products. So it just kind of talks through that and kind of some do's and don'ts for Facebook. And then you also had it on the the game plan worksheet, the first 7 days of Facebook posts. Because I know I get that a lot. People are like, well, I can't share because I don't know what to say. And this helps not necessarily give them exactly what to say, but more of a goal and a guideline so that they can make it their own. Because we really want to teach people like the ideas behind posts and not have to tell them, do this, share this every single day, because we won't always be there to say that. But if we can teach them, okay, I need to share something that is educational. I need to share something that is engaging. It's going to make a lot more sense for them. So that was our process behind it.
And I'll add in too, before we move on, as far as the lives go, because I know that will be completely nerve-wracking for 99.9% of every single person that you talk to, unless they're just this amazing branded person that's just used to being out there. We had someone ask in the Legacy Leadership Academy, ask Bob if it was okay if our person was scared to do it by themselves, if they could split the screen and have their sponsor come on and do the live with them, their first curiosity post. And he said, absolutely. Ideally, they would go on by themselves, but he said he was completely open to the idea of split screen with the sponsor and maybe like a Q&A type of thing. Again, we're creating that curiosity, so we would leave out the Plexus, but just to kind of like get a feel for why they've decided to make this change. And that could maybe bring in more people that are willing to get on and do a live if they have somebody on there with them and it's not just completely them writing solo. So I just wanted to throw that in there before we moved on.
Yes, and that kind of moves back to Tanya, like I've had several people. They join me for the business. They reach out and say, Rebecca, I want to do what you do. And this is even what Bob talks about. They do nothing. And a lot of that is because they get overwhelmed. They don't know where to start. we tag them in the post on the team page, we tell them to get on the team calls, and they just feel like, they get so overwhelmed they do nothing. And so hopefully with this system, by giving them a checklist and breaking it down for them, we may be able to pull those people out who say, yeah, I want to do it. Hopefully this will help encourage them, because it literally is a step-by-step. And now we know how to jump on a game plan meeting worksheet. Even if all you read is what's on here, and answer their questions, that's still going to be success. It's not, that would still be successful in my mind. It's just getting them started. And I always think, like, the two things that people don't know what to do, they're like, I don't know what to say on Facebook, and I don't know what to say when somebody says, what's Plexus? So if we can give them those two things and make them feel confident with that, I feel like we will get so many more people who are willing to share and who will, maybe out the gate do that. But that was our thought process. And that's kind of what Bob was talking about. So, all right, go ahead.
I was just going to touch on Tara's question, because that kind of aligns with kind of what you were just saying as far as giving them the content. But for me, if somebody is lacking in content or they're not seeing enough, maybe they need to friend more Plexus people. Not that we ever want to like copy and paste other people's posts, but there's lots of good factual information that is shared out there that we can add to at the beginning to make it sound like us, but still deliver the facts on our products. So I always instruct people to kind of like use the Facebook search tool and put in the keywords, something that if I know a friend's struggling with or something like that, I might put in like Plexus and sleep or Plexus, something like that. And it's going to bring up a list, several posts that you can go through, and just to get content maybe that you can, again, make your own, but to take that hesitation of, like, I don't know what to post. I don't know how to come up with, all of this information. I'm just starting out, or I've been in it for a little while, but I don't really know everything about these products. It's out there. The information's out there. It's just kind of like helping people be able to search and find good stuff. And then I always try and link people into people on our team, especially that are good branders, that brand themselves amazing, that make posts that are genuine and authentic. So Tara, that would be, my suggestion. And then you could always, work with your upline and tell them those sort of things. So I have people and they'll message me and they're like, I'm just really having a hard time coming up with content. Like, I feel like I've posted about everything there is. And it's just as simple as kind of looking back through their day and maybe what they have done and, finding something that we can put out there that is gonna, one, capture people's attention and deliver, information and educate them. So hopefully that helps. It looks like there's other questions.
I have a question that doesn't have to deal with what, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
All right. My question is I am so familiar with Google Docs, and I don't know if you're not using Chrome or Google, will these links, like for somebody who's not familiar with Google Docs, will they work because they're all internet based? I know that may just be a technical question right now, but I don't know. I'm just asking the question that came in my head.
We've downloaded them as Word docs and we've copied and pasted and shared, and they've worked. So I honestly am not sure how Google Docs even works. I just know that you click it and I'm able to link it.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we send this doc to our ambassadors, it's not really going to matter what format they're using. They're going to be able to click on these links and it's going to go to it.
And also, Tanya, I tried to upload, so some of these, like example, click here, those documents are in the file section on the team page. So if, let's say they don't work, they could at least reference it in the file section, so you could send it to them via a Word doc. So just in case case scenario.
Okay, so in our emails, we can tell them also that if for some reason the links don't work out of the Word document here, then they can go into our team page and look for it there in the file section.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's going to open pretty across the board. Like I'm on a Mac that doesn't have any Microsoft, anything on it. And I've been able to open everything and click through it. And I was also able to on my phone. So I think it'll, for the most part, everyone will be able to get into it and see all of the information.
Sweet.
All right, so we'll move next to path 2, which, the launch path and how Lauren and I role played, like Tanya even mentioned, that's like best case scenario. Really, the 2-7-30 checklist, as Bob even says, those are for the people who want to launch and who are ready and committed. But we know the majority of our Plexus ambassadors, they're just wholesale customers. They want to get their products for the best price, and they're not really sure that this business is even right for them. So this is the path that you really want to take with them. You still want to send them, add them to the team page, send them a welcome email. You still want to send them the welcome video because you never know what could spark. But if they come back and say, I'm path 2, I want to do slow and steady. This is kind of what Bob, he teaches, and Lauren, I guess we can role play here as well.
Yes.
So we'll just go into our role play. All right, Lauren, did you have a chance to watch the welcome video?
I did. I watched it last night, yes.
So which path do you think makes the most sense for you? Which one do you interested in getting started with?
I think that I'm definitely the slow and steady that you mentioned. I don't think that this business is really for me. I'm not much of a salesperson, and I don't think I could do what you do.
Yes, no, I completely understand how you feel. But let me ask you this, like, what do you think, what information could I give you? Or what do you think you need that would help move you from your slow and steady path to maybe the launch path? Is there anything I could provide for you or information I could give you?
Well, I mean, honestly, I see all of these people posting and stuff, but I don't really think that maybe many people make money doing this. So maybe if you could share some of the opportunity, honestly, that would probably be what would speak to myself and my husband. So maybe that, but again, I don't really think it's for me. So.
Well, I'd love to share my story, and I also have a video I could send. If I send the video, would you watch it?
Yeah, sure. I would take a look at it.
And I actually thought the same thing when I joined. I wasn't working. My husband, was in school, and money was kind of a big deal for us. But when my friend actually shared that if you just get 3 people to join you, you make a minimum of $175. So I can tell you the comp plan, it really works. And I can coach you, and I can kind of walk you through how you would get those 3 people. But it has to be your decision. It has to be, the path that's right for you. But just know, when the timing's right for you, it's 3 people joining as an ambassador just like you did. And that's $175 just for those 3 people, wanting to get healthy like you and your husband. So.
Okay. I think I'll definitely keep that in mind. I didn't realize that it would be that easy to, at least offset the cost of my products. And that would probably be big for my husband because he was not really excited about me doing this, to be honest. Like we had to kind of get into it about it. But, so that would kind of be nice. So maybe I'll keep that in the back of my mind and think about it. But I think I want to try out the products and just, see what they do for me first.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you one more question. Would you be willing to do this? Okay. Keep an open mind here with me. Can you think of one person right now that would just be so amazing at this business that you would love to do this with? Like they have influence, maybe they're, they're outgoing, or they, would be willing to share. Can you think of one person maybe that would be really good at this business, or even the products?
Well, I definitely think that I have family members that would maybe be interested in the products. I don't know that I want to share about a business maybe that I'm not into yet. But I definitely think that maybe my mom would probably look into maybe the products at least.
Okay, well, here's what we'll do. If I give you a video, would you send it to your mom and just see what she thinks?
Yeah, sure.
All right, awesome. Well, I'll send that over there to you. In the meantime, I know you said, you want to try the products, so they should be here. Today's Thursday. They should be here by Tuesday. So let's set a time where we can kind of follow back up when you've had time to try the products, and maybe we can revisit, sharing and getting those 3 people. But in the meantime, I'm going to still add you to our team page. You can get plugged in, see the resources. I'm going to send you a welcome email, like I mentioned in the video, with your product directions, and we'll really just get you started. And I'll be here to support you, at your own pace. So, and I'll send you that video so you can send to your mom and just see what she thinks.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'm really excited for you to try the products, though. I know you're going to love them.
Me too. I'm so excited.
All right, so I'll get those sent over to you, and we will talk soon.
All right, perfect. Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so this obviously was a little different, and probably what we're usually used to hearing. And so this is what Bob teaches, is that, Lauren's probably not the person that I'm looking for to, run with this business. She doesn't think she's a good salesperson. She doesn't really, she gave me all these objections, but maybe her mom is who I'm looking for. So maybe she's going to connect me if she's willing to send, and this is where having that third party, maybe her mom is going to be my rock star. And so we send this video to her mom, and her mom's like, oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Well, one of 2 things has happened. Now Lauren might say, oh, that was pretty easy. Maybe I can do this. Or, as Bob says, it could be a crapshoot, and her mom's like, no, that sounds terrible, and she doesn't want to do anything with the business. And Lauren's like going to be like, see, I told you so. And but again, Lauren wasn't excited about this business to begin with. So they're not the people that I'm looking for to launch this business, and that's okay. I'm going to move on. I'm going to give them the checklist. I'm going to treat them as my wholesale ambassador. I'm going to follow back up with them because maybe she starts loving the products and she eventually wants to start sharing. But Lauren probably wasn't going to reach out to anybody regardless. So I had to, at least, while she was the most excited, she just clicked join, give it a try, because that's when they're the most likely to be willing to at least reach out to one person. But if you let that go by, you might miss out. So that's what Bob kind of teaches, is with these people who say slow and steady, kind of open up a conversation. What will it take to move you to path 1? And find out, because this is where their real objections they're going to share with you, why they don't want to. And even, he even says, you kind of treat them still like a prospect. They signed up, but they're not ready to work the business yet. So you're still going to keep following up, touching base with them to move them to wanting to work the business. So they're still a prospect, really, for the business. So, those path 2 people, they're not a complete wash. I know I was a path 2 when I signed up with Lynn. I told her I didn't want to do this. I was not a salesperson. I was too shy. But the minute I started loving these products and I saw my husband loving the products, she came back to me just like, okay, well, we'll follow up. And she said, you could share this and make $175. And I was like, wait, what? I didn't know it'd be this easy because I like the product. So, sorry guys, I have like a dry throat tonight. Don't discount these path 2 people, because you still want to love on them and move them through the prospect process, but they're just not ready to launch out the gate. So find out what their objections are, talk to them, see if they're willing to at least reach out to one person. Maybe they connect you, or maybe that does light a fire in them. And if not, that's okay. They weren't, really a rock star ready yet anyhow. But it doesn't mean that they won't become one, because I know a lot of us, even on this call, we weren't ready to launch right out of the gate. So hopefully that makes sense as far as path 2. find out their objections, wholesale instructions, get them connected. But you're not going to be like, okay, tomorrow let's get on a game plan meeting. Call, they may, in a week or 2 weeks, they may be open to that, but you're not going to stress on hitting that 2/7/30 timeline. You're just going to get them connected, love on them, encourage them, try to use your influence to get them to reach out to somebody, but just know they're not ready to launch yet, and that's okay.
Yep, I agree. And, the whole basis behind this, like Amanda just said, she was a path 2. I started as a path 2, but it was in a conversation similar to what we were rolling out to our teams that kind of unlocked my path 1. And it happened very quickly for me because Rebecca shared in a similar fashion the opportunity of going silver and all of that, all of that entailed. And while I started out just wanting to lose weight and just do my own thing with the products, having that conversation and the same thing that these the video and the sheets are going to do is kind of maybe open their eyes to something a little bit more. And now maybe it's not somebody that's going to fly in this business or whatever, but even still, if just think about the people that we onboard onto our teams. If we were able to help half of them go silver, like what that would do for our organization, across the board. So I think that, it's most people are going to be that path 2, and we're searching for those path 1 people, but just going through this process is really going to help, I think, either open people's eyes or, get people off to that faster start than what we have been used to.
Yeah, and even some of the path 2s, when they get the getting started checklist and they see that it's simple, oh, well, this is what I'm supposed to say, or here's what I could post, that may even get some wheels turning, like, okay, it's all here for me. I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
You still want to give them that. You don't want to assume anything, because who knows? Like, I'm so thankful Lynn did not assume that I would, not ever want to do this business. So don't ever underestimate these path 2s, because they are going to be, they're essential to our business, just like the path 1s. So.
Yeah.
Oh, how would you approach sending this document out to our level 1s and 2s that we have now? So this is what I'm doing. For example, so Amanda, she signed an ambassador. Amanda's my level 2. So I reached out to Amanda. I said, congrats, you signed an ambassador. That's so awesome. Do you feel comfortable? Are you ready to launch into our new 2/7/30? And she's like, no, what do I need to do? So I just sent Amanda, and I included Suzanne, her sponsor, her sister, and I said, here's the welcome video that you need to send. And here's your sponsor checklist. This is what you want to work through. And I gave it to them, and then I know that they'll take it and run with it. So I am, like, these first 2 months, reaching out to people who are signing new ambassadors, giving them the sponsor checklist, saying, do you need me? Do you feel comfortable with this? Because really the sponsor checklist, it has the link to the video, it has the game plan meeting worksheet, it has all of the stuff that they need. So I am touching base. And you could even send a welcome email, to your team, like, hey, I'm Tanya, I'm your, one of your Plexus family. I just wanted to welcome you, make sure you have everything you needed, whatever you want to touch base with them. But I think that's
right.
Making sure that our 2s, 3s, 4s, whatever, at least have the sponsor checklist and congratulating them on a new ambassador, because that's usually what I like to do anyhow. So now you just, send that link or word file.
Oh, I think she said the people that have been on our team for a while. So that's all of you guys, right? That's all of us. We're all on this call learning. You guys all made it a point to get on here to see how we're going to roll these out and how everything goes. But for those that aren't, send them this video, tell them to watch it. And
the same thing. When they sign a new ambassador, send them a sponsor checklist.
Yep.
When it's going to be relevant to them, and when they're most likely going to, right now, if they're not signing anyone, they're gonna be like, okay, thanks. But when they sign someone, it's like, hey, congrats, you did this. I know you've been with us for 2 years. Here's our new system, and send it to them, type thing. That's what I'm planning to do.
Yeah. Does that help? Is that your Is that what you were after, Tanya?
Yeah, that was my question. Because, I have several people that are currently on my team that have been on there for a while that aren't doing anything. And a lot of it's just because I didn't really do very well with the whole duplication process.
Yeah.
And so they're just sitting there. Some of them are purchasing their products and some of them aren't.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking about now is with this, launching this out and saying, hey, super excited about these new documents. Would love for you guys to take a look at them. Tell me what you think. Which path are you on? Almost as if they
Yes.
joined like last week.
Yeah. Go
And
back
that's
through.
exactly what I did today, Tanya, and that's what Amanda said. This is your chance, kind of use them as your guinea pigs almost, because they're already joined, they know you. And that's what I did today with the call earlier. I was like, she's already been in the business for a month, but we did this as if she had just joined, and we relaunched it, and we went through the game plan worksheet, because I think it will light a fire in a lot of them too, and they'll be like, oh, this is so good, this is easy. So yeah, definitely, that's perfect. Reach out to them, say, hey, new documents, let's, if you want to do a launch meeting, let's meet together. So that's perfect.
And he says in there too, just it's okay to be honest with people. Listen, we did not have an easy duplicatable system for any of us out there, and now we do. And just being honest and saying, I failed you as a leader, and I want to do this again. I want to go back through and do it right with you. And I would just love to get on a call and kind of go over this with you, that sort of thing. But just being honest with them. And, I know that is definitely what I'm planning to do, is to touch back with all of those people that, maybe didn't have it clearly laid out for them. And I think it's just gonna help big time with getting people back, like you're saying, Tanya, that didn't have the necessary things that they needed to be successful, or they felt overwhelmed, or whatever it was. So it's just one of the many reasons we're so excited about this.
Yes. Well, awesome. Thanks for sticking with us tonight. Any other questions? It's perfect tool, to go back, and I'm revisiting it with all of my inactives, or those that joined and then did nothing.
Right.
And I'm going to say just what Lauren said. I'm so sorry I didn't have this before, but I'm ready for a new start. It's a new year. People are, excited for New Year's resolutions. This is the perfect time, if any, to reach back out to our team. So it's going to be good.
Yep.
Mindy, Amanda, anything else you girls want to add?
Yeah, I'd like to. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, just real quick, you two did such an amazing job. I know we all had this vision because, like you said, we were lacking these documents that had everything together in an organized manner that we could roll out based on how people needed them. So we literally have every single thing that we need. And these links that we're able to click on to get more in depth. I mean, Facebook posting tools, messaging tools, all of this stuff right here, Diamond Docs with the right web addresses, we're grabbing at pieces at, different websites here, different sources here, and just kind of saying, here, check this out, here, take this. And we didn't have anything in place. And now we have this system that we can now depend on this. So I am so excited about this. So glad that we're able to roll this out to all of our teams. This is going to be so huge. This is big, because anyone from a beginner to anyone who's been doing this for years is able to use this, because it's this simple checklist and these simple things that we're able to do. So I'm excited, you guys.
Yes, it's I feel like this is going to revolutionize all of our businesses and all of the people that have yet to even come and join us. So yeah, I'm on the same excited boat as you.
Oh, I'm right there with you all. I wish I would have this when I started, but we're ready to move forward from here. So
yes.
Yeah, business and life changing.
For sure.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add?
Nope.
All right. Have a good night. And we recorded it, so we'll get it posted so we can send it to our members, I know, who weren't able to jump on. And let's rock and roll with 7:30.
Woohoo! All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.